Fantastic. Morning, Pat. How are you?
Yep. Good morning. Thanks.
All good. Well, let's start with the obvious question. You've had 4 or 5 months now without rugby. How does it feel to be a couple of days away from it, starting up again?
Yeah, pretty excited. I think that's an understatement. I think training has always been a means to the end of what we actually love doing, is playing rugby and being involved in rugby. So, it was fair play. A lot of credit goes to the players for training when they didn't know when they're going to be back, and they're keeping themselves in good nick. There was obviously a buzz when August the 14th or 15th was set down, and I've just seen that ramped up. And certainly Monday, there was a jump in everyone's step as we get closer. We're in game week rather than pre-season, and so everyone's keen. Everyone's good to go.
Absolutely, and you are always somebody who's keen to learn, keen to develop. Is there anything you've learned yourself, coaching-wise, or anything over the last few months that you've sort of had to deal with over this situation?
Yeah, every day is a learning. But I think the big thing that I loved about COVID, don't get me wrong, I didn't like it, but you turn something to a good, is the fact, we talk about in our team around ownership, own your development. Everyone criticises professional rugby players for being spoon-fed. Where it's about giving them some options and guidance, but ultimately they've got to do the work. And you couldn't have got a better way to practice ownership when they were in lockdown. And that's what I'm really pleased about, was the way that the boys, we could while we could connect, there was a lot of trust that they needed to get the work done without a trainer standing over them, a coach standing over them. And so I believe there's some real great development in the players through that time. As far as the coaching and the management side of it, it all gave us an opportunity to learn and develop through different webinars and books read and so forth. But also a great way to connect, that we can be more efficient with our time, that, we can do Zoom calls still, even though we're not in lockdown anymore. And connect in better ways. So a lot of positives.
In terms of what you're expecting straight out of the box for this weekend, you've got new players, new coaching set up. You haven't been able to have the sort of warm-up games that you would have done if this were a normal sort of pre-season, if it were. How much can you expect of those players in terms of hitting their best first out?
I think the big thing as part of the plan is the continuity around. That's why, as I've said, I put a massive emphasis on retention, because we've got guys in the group now that have been with me for 3 years, going into the 4th season. And I've got staff members that have done the same as well. And that's the key, is that we're not starting from scratch. All we're doing is bringing people who are new up to speed into the Bears way. And that's ultimately what rugby is, doesn't matter how many world-class players you might have or staff. It's about getting on the same page as everyone else. And when I first came here, it was pretty much everybody 3 years ago, whereas that role has got a lot easier because of the more players that are driving it, and also the way, within the culture, the connections that the guys are making. So it's made that transition for guys who are new to our team much smoother, because the majority of our group are consistently the same.
Okay, and in terms of those new faces, whether it's Semi, or Kyle, or the guys you got on loan, are they available for selection if chosen for the weekend?
Yeah, those the ones you've mentioned are. I mean, Max is probably close. Will be a close option, but he's come back off a couple of injuries, so while he's back training, and he'll be touch and go. Machidi did a hamstring, so he's not far away. He won't be available this week. Chris Cook as well, with his has a slight back issue, nothing major. So they'll all be available within the next few weeks anyway.
Okay, and in terms of the integration from all of the new guys, are they won't be perfect because you haven't had game time with them, but are they as close as they're going to be in terms of up to speed with what you're expecting from them and their roles?
Yeah, I mean, as close as can be. Like as you said, they haven't had any games, so but they are quality players. I think the thing that I'm more excited by is the fact that predominantly the squad that finished round 13. There's a lot of them available for this week. So, continuity is important, and making sure that the others are up to speed.
Okay, and in terms of injuries, any others knocks picked up over the last couple of weeks, or is it pretty much a full squad to choose from?
Yeah, it's close to a full squad. There's always niggles and injuries. Those are all the things you consider. So, but yeah, we're close to full strength by the people I've already mentioned.
Okay, and in terms of planning for this schedule, because I know how much you like to sort of look at these things, how much is the sheer volume of rugby you're going to be playing over the coming weeks factoring into the kind of decisions you're going to have to make, team selection, keeping fresh bodies, that kind of thing?
Yeah, I mean, that's all the challenge. That's why you need world-class staff. And there's a bit of a science to it, but ultimately we just go, it's exciting. At the end of the day, we've been
drifting in and out.
Hello? Someone in there? As Ali, someone's got there.
Ali, can you just mute, mate, if you can hear this? I'll drop your WhatsApp as well.
Hello. Okay. Well, that's the whole science of the whole thing, as you go through. I think we've been waiting for rugby to come back, and now we've got lots of games, so we're excited by that, Yes, you can look at it and say that it's more than normal in a short amount of time, but there's no way that everyone's going to play every single one of those games, obviously. It's a tough sport. Preparation, recovery is going to be important, and the most important thing is to make sure that the group that go out and is at its best. And so the staff will help them as much as we can, but you've got to rely on the whole squad, which is why you have, it's important. The culture's strong, the preparation's strong, leadership strong.
Absolutely. And just finally from me, obviously Sarries have been the benchmark over the last, as many years as you care to mention. Very different squad now, but still with a lot of experience, a lot of talent in there. What are you expecting from them this weekend?
Usual, tough. There's quality there. They're the defending champions. They're the ones who have set the marker. And as I've said before, same with Rob Baxter at Exeter and Mark McCall. When I first arrived, I think they were going into the 9th or 10th season as we started. We're only into the second season of Premiership Rugby, but been with this group for 3 years. So, the benefit that I was talking about at the very beginning is huge. Where those guys have the benefit of now, I think 10, 11, 12 seasons now. And that's why they are good. It's that consistency as a team. It's the Saracens team, not necessarily the individual. And that's what we strive to be. You have some great individuals in all these teams, but it's about being a team and having that consistency of coaching staff, management, key players, the Farrells and the Vunipolas and those guys to drive that. That's what makes them strong.
Thank you, Pat.
No problem.